Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can all hear me well. My name is Imelda Harn. I'm from the Open University. I would like to welcome you all to this Open University session on free learning from the OU. As a leading provider of online learning, we're absolutely delighted to be involved in this virtual festival. In this session, my colleague Fiona will take you through OpenLearn, which is the home of free learning at the Open University, and discuss the courses on offer. Over to you, Fiona. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, Imelda. So welcome everybody. Just a little bit about me. My name is Fiona Aiken. I have been Associate Lecturer with the Open University for over 25 years. And these days I'm a lecturer, which also means I do some work in Milton Keynes when travel permits as well. So today's session, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview about some of the free courses that you can study with us online, obviously. So at the start of the crisis, the Open University was involved in discussions with the Department of the Economy, and through those discussions we have put together a package of free resources on a platform which anybody who's maybe furloughed, maybe worried about their job, or even just looking for different opportunities can obviously have a look at and access those resources. And these resources cover things like digital skills, employability, and essential skills. And as I say, I'll give you a little bit of an overview of what's there. So you can access these resources by going through the NI Direct government website. And this is what the front page looks like when you go into there. And once you click on the link at the bottom where it says free short courses, you are taken to a page which has lots of different short courses, and the Open University ones are part of that. And as you can see, there's quite a range of different courses, and they come in three sections. And the first section is around digital skills. I think everybody has been homing up on digital skills over this time, even using a platform like Zoom, which I'm sure many of us haven't used a lot before this. So there's courses there on digital literacy, introduction to cybersecurity, digital thinking tools, preparing for your digital life, virtual project teams, and assistive technologies and online learning. So that's to help people who maybe have a disability. There are technologies obviously to help with that. So there's courses in all of those areas. Then under the section on employability, there's a whole range, and I'll just pick out a few. One on effective communication, how to succeed in the workplace, working in diverse teams, understanding your sector, leadership and followership, integrated safety, health and environmental management, creativity and innovation, and maybe how to frame a business case if you're maybe thinking of starting up a business. So again, they are all of those are live links, and you click on that, that takes you into the course. And the last set that we've got up on this particular website is we've got some what we call essential skills, which are things that really all of us need to have. And you might want to, have that opportunity to brush up on things like, getting started with online learning. What's it like? How do you actually do it? So we've got a course that introduces you to learning online. And then we have a suite of courses there on these essential skills around maths. So there's two in maths, and then there's also one on everyday English. And that's, obviously not just speaking it, it's writing it, communicating in different ways. So this next slide just gives you a little view of what it's like when you click on that link to go into one of the courses. And I think this is a really good course to start with, certainly if you've never done any studying online before. And it's called, Getting Started with Online Learning. What's good is if you look over here, you can see it takes 6 hours of study in total. And also it tells you it's a level 1, it's an introductory course. Now we do ask you to create an account with the OU, and basically it's not a lot of details that you're having to give to us. We are a university, we've been doing this distance learning stuff for a long time, and everything is kept very securely. We have that one of the highest levels around cybersecurity. So please don't worry about that you're giving away, personal information when you create an account. It will just make it easier. It means that we get to know you a little bit, as you study with us. So once you go in, click onto the link right into the course, you'll see across the top, when all of these are links. So if you click on them, so you get a course description, which gives you an overview of what the course is about. And then below that, we've got these things called learning outcomes. And basically a learning outcome is the things that you will have achieved by the time you've finished this course. So in this case, in the Getting Started with Online Learning, by the end of the course, you'll understand the key aspects of online study. You'll be able to recognise the main differences between online study and study at a campus-based university, and you'll be able to assess how studying online can match your personal interests and preferences and how to develop skills. Also, you'll see it's a very nice, they're a nice interface when you go in. Down the left-hand side, anything that's got an arrow, there'll be drop-down options underneath that. So it tells you, what's going to be in the course. So you're going to have sort of 3 sections here: living online, the elements of online study, and online study skills in week 1. And then in week 2, when you obviously click on that, you'll get different content. We do things like within the platform, you can just get into access a video. So you'll get a nice little introductory video. You can also get a transcript of what the person's saying. So if you find it maybe difficult to understand what they're saying, you can have a look, at that. And again, things like the number of hours of study and the level, all of that's summarized there, as well. So you're guided through the study, it should be very easy for you to find your way through that. And there are also, as you work through the materials, it's not just a case of reading or watching videos. You will have interactive quizzes. So you can see in this case here that, you've got some multiple choice questions which you can answer. Then when you click on that, check your answer, and it will then tell you if you're right or wrong. And maybe if your answer isn't correct, it will give you an explanation of what the right answer is. So you're interacting, you're not just, as I say, sitting looking at things. It is very much an interactive experience. And then at the end of the module, as you can see, this is the week 2. And again, the same format, same layout as that week 1. You can see that there's different things, but the last bit is moving on to formal study. So we could be, you'll do 1 or 2 of these free courses. You think, you know what, I really quite enjoy doing this. You might want to go on to a bit more study. So that gives you those options of how you can go about doing that. And for each of these modules that you complete, they're what we call badge. A lot of them you can get what we call as a badge. It's like an electronic certificate that says that you've completed that. So again, if you're applying for jobs or looking at things, you'd be able to say, I have completed an Open Learn module with the Open University in this particular subject. And this is basically a badge which shows that I have completed it. So just to give a little flavour of what some of the other ones we have on offer, as I say, there's obviously a whole list there. I just sort of thought I'd put out a couple of the front pages of you to see. So this one's around the effective communication in the workplace. Something that we all have to do is obviously communicate with other people. And probably at the moment when a lot of us are maybe working remotely, those of us are working, it's probably even more crucial that we communicate in a right way. So this course, I think, is a really useful little course for, helping you with that. This one's a bit longer, 24 hours of study, but it's still at that introductory level. So that might be one that would interest you. Also, something else I think, as we all spend so much more time at the moment online, is introduction to cybersecurity, staying safe online, because obviously you want to make sure you're safe in what you're doing. Very useful little course there, because we are all doing it. We're all shopping online, working online, maybe playing video games. So it's just making sure that we keep that personal information, of ours, secure. This again, 24 hours introductory. So that might interest some people too. And this just gives you an idea of one of those essential skills, the everyday English. And it's, as you can see it, that, it's not just speaking, it's the writing, the reading, the listening. But if you maybe did, it's maybe a while since you've been at school and you just feel like there's time to maybe brush up on a few of those skills, this might be quite a good place, for you to start. As you can see, it's a bit longer, 48 hours, so it's a bit longer. But the good thing is you can choose the time of day or how long that you spend on a study session. That's the nice thing about this type of learning. You don't have to go to a particular place, for a particular time. You can make it fit in around all of your other commitments. So those that suite of modules that I've just sort of given you a very brief overview of, what they are the ones that you can access through that NI website. We also have a lot more modules in this Open Learn series, and we have our own website. And if you just put into a search engine Open Learn, this is the front page that will come up for you to see. And as you can see, it says there's over 1,000 free courses on all sorts of different topics. So, please, obviously explore it. It's got quite a good search facility. You can just put in here, you can put in a topic up there and it'll bring up the topics. But as you can see, we have a whole range of subject areas covered there. Health, sports, psychology, education, history and the arts, languages, nature and environment, science, maths, technology, society, politics, and law. So lots of different courses. And if you are interested in doing some online study and you're maybe not quite sure what you'd like to do, go and have a look, because it will give you a really good introduction to all of those different subjects. And if you want to go even further than that, we do also have, we go right the way up to degree level. So of course, you can go in and have a look at our prospectus. As that says there, we've had over 2 million people have studied with us. And Imelda maybe could tell us at the end if she knows how many people it is in Northern Ireland, but I'm sure it's quite a number over the years. A good place to start, if you've maybe done some of the Open Learn and you sort of think, well, I would like to do a little bit more, but I'm still not totally sure about going the whole way of, say, committing to a degree, which obviously is a big commitment. We have some other free courses that you can study called our Access modules, and they cover 3 areas, and they're introductions, quite broad-based courses, but there's one there for arts and languages, one's for people, work and society, and one around the science, technology and maths. Now, the difference these have is that you will have a tutor who will phone you quite regularly and offer you personal support as you work your way through the modules. These modules last longer. They either start in October or February, and they last for 9 months. And you will have to do several hours of study, each week on them. And there's, a study calendar and things that goes with it, tells you what you need to do. But they're quite a good place if you're still just not sure about committing, to something longer term, to have a look at the Open Learn. Okay, what have I done? Let's see. Just lost the button there. So that maybe just gives you a bit of a whirlwind tour about some of the resources. I'm hoping these slides will be made available to you through the website associated with the Learning Festival, but that's the links there to the furlough scheme ones, the ones I talked about at the beginning. The Open Learn website with all of those Open Learn modules is there. The wider university website with all of our courses is there, and also one to the Access. Often a question I get asked when I do library events is, where, the Open University, do you have an office? Are you based anywhere in Ireland? Well, actually, we have 2 offices in Ireland. We have one in Belfast and we have one in Dublin as well. This is our Belfast office. At the moment, of course, it's closed with the COVID crisis. It's not reopened yet, but we have a team of experienced advisors, and Imelda is best in that office, who generally do work there. And that's an email address. So if you did want to talk to an advisor and get some advice about study, you can again do that for free. You can contact the team, and you can either do it at the moment, you can do that by email, and they can, phone you back if they need to give you more in-depth advice. And at this stage, I think I'll stop and see if anybody has got any questions that they would just like to ask. And thank you very much for attending the session. And whatever you decide to study, I'd just like to wish you well with it. It's lifelong learning. It's just a great thing. It just gives us so many opportunities. And I hope you find something that you'd enjoy to study, whether it's with us or somebody else. Thank you.
Hi Fiona, Imelda here. Hello everyone. Fiona, I'm just following up. There's a question in the Q&A box by an attendee. Can people living in the Northern Ireland border region in Donegal, for example, do the free online learning courses with the OU, and those unemployed through COVID or furloughed?
If you've got a Northern Ireland address, you can certainly do them. You can certainly study with the, you can do them for free. Definitely you can. I think if you live in the Republic of Ireland, but at one point, Imelda, there was a link up, wasn't there, with some of the border counties. I think that's the sort of question you're probably best to ring them in Belfast and talk to them, you know, about what the options would be. But furloughed people, anybody like that, you will be able to study all of those free courses. And if you're unemployed, you will certainly be able to study our longer, you know, university level, you know, right up to degree level. You'll be able to get financial assistance with that. But they are the sort of questions I think are always best if you, because obviously everybody's personal circumstances are different, and I think it's better if you could, you know, if you ring into the office or, you know, email the office, they can answer those questions.
We've got a few minutes left. We can take questions either in the
Q&A
box.
I can take questions, or if there's anything anybody wants to, I can stop sharing the slides, or maybe it makes it easier for me to see the chat box. Has anybody studied with the OU before, or anything? Even if you just want to respond in the chat box, or anybody knows somebody who has, because that's the other thing I would say is if you're thinking about doing any study, if you know a family member or a friend or somebody who's studied, that they can be really good for giving you that sort of feel of what it's like to actually study, you know, with the Open University.
Fiona, just another question here.
Yep, you go ahead, Imelda.
Is there any certain age requirements for studying, particularly the free courses? Any particular age limit?
Not at all. Anybody can study them. No, like if you've got, all I'd say is for any of them, if you've got the interest, you know, just go for it. So children, you know, we do have under 18s study even our longer modules with us. Not huge numbers, but we have some. And I think the oldest graduates, I don't know, 80 odd, 90 maybe. So no, I think if you've been, to be honest, if you've been able to come in on this Zoom call and join these sessions, you know, that's sometimes the hurdle people have is around the IT. But if you can do that, you'll have no problem studying any of those modules that are there. You know, you'll be clicking on links and doing similar things to what you've been doing as part of this learning festival. And I think, to be honest, one of the big things I think COVID's done has just made all of us, you know, so much better, I think, at all the online thing. Although I have worked in this area for a long time, I'm on the past, I've always been very reluctant to put the video on, and now I'm much better at doing that. You know, I'm much happier. I don't mind seeing my own face, and you know, and I think other people really do like to see, you know, obviously to see you on video as well. So my big thing would be just to go in and explore and just find something that's maybe of interest to you, you know, and it doesn't matter what age you are. My mum used to say, education's never wasted and you're never too old to learn. And I think that's, you know, as I've got older myself, I think that's still very true.
Fiona, just one final question then from an attendee.
No problem.
Are these courses recognised by employers?
They are, yes. Like the Open University, we have been around for over 50 years now across the whole of the UK and Ireland. And employers very much do recognise the Open University qualifications. We are a university like other universities, we grant degrees, but these courses, as I said, you get a badge, which is effectively an electronic certificate. So you can take that to an employer and say, oh, I've done this course with the Open University, and they will know what you're talking about. We're very well recognised across the sector. Any other final queries? Well, there's lots of information online, as I say, at those links. And even if you just put into a search engine, Open University or, you know, Open University Ireland, and it will bring up, you know, the information. The one thing I'd say is if you are going into the main website, the first question you're asked is where you live. And that is to do with the degrees and the fees. The fees are different in different areas. So just make sure you do put, you know, obviously, you know, living in Northern Ireland or, you know, where you are. Well, thank you very much for coming to the session. I hope some people have found that helpful. And I do hope you enjoy the rest of the festival. I really enjoyed the sessions I've been in this morning myself. I think it's a great experience, and I do hope you all enjoy the rest of the time.